And welcome to Profile Pod TV. I'm your host, DoubleAA, and we are back for another spectacular episode of the pod. Thank you so much for being here on YouTube. If you're tuning in on the audio platforms, of course, it's always a pleasure having you here. We got a great one in store for you guys tonight. If you love desserts, if you love food, period, then this is the episode for you. So thank you so much once again for being here. Don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. Support the channel, support the podcast. Click on that purple Profile Pod TV logo there at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Hit that subscribe button and we're good. I'd really appreciate that. So once again, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, Clubhouse. It's all Profile Pod TV. Shoot me a DM. If you'd like to appear on this podcast, if you'd like us to promote your product, if you're a musician, maybe you have a short film coming out, you're a filmmaker, maybe you wrestle alligators in the bayou. Let's get you on, because the essence of this podcast is, again, to inspire, to motivate, and bring on individuals who are doing just that. And tonight we have individuals doing just that. So without further ado, let's bring our guest. This is a power couple. This is a dynamic duo. They hail from the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles, California. They have a dessert shop that they opened up 2 years ago. They're here to tell us all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. and Mrs. Chimi, Robert and Maria. How are you guys? Welcome.
Hi, we're doing good.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. It means a lot to us.
Oh, no. Likewise. I mean, I know this is your first podcast, and you know what an honor it is for me to have you on for the first time on a podcast. How's everything going? We met over at the C's Smoke Shop food pop-up a couple weeks ago. How have you guys been since? What's been going on?
Well, I've been busy working. I still keep a full-time job myself, so I've been staying busy with that. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, just going through the flavor transitions right now because we have over 15 flavors of our dessert cheesecake chimichangas. So we're currently going through a transition for summer flavors. So I'm working on that.
Oh, that's amazing. And let me just say, what a pleasure it was. You guys were so amazing and very hospitable. And I posted that video that you took of me, Robert, tasting your strawberry cream chimi.
That's right.
Strawberry cheesecake.
Strawberry cheesecake. I'm sorry. And that was a delightful dessert, not to say the least. I mean, that was just go watch that video, ladies and gentlemen. It's on my Instagram. The reaction it says it all. The look on my face says it all when I tasted that delightful dessert, the strawberry cheesecake, Mrs. Chimi. That was a lot of fun. And again, I want to thank you guys. Let's get right into it, man. This is Mrs. Chimi. Tell us all about it, Maria, or a little bit about what you guys do. And give us a little lowdown on that. Mrs. Chimi.
Well, actually, I mean, Mrs. Chimi wasn't really she wasn't planned, So she's definitely been I call her as her own person, her own creation, because it just landed on our lap, I shared some pastries with Robert's coworkers at work, and I mean he shares it really nice. So, go ahead.
Well, yeah, she usually shares it with the family, little pastry that she would make. And they were great. The first time she gave them to me, it's like, wow, really surprised me. But the first time I shared them with my coworkers, she surprised me again. She decided to make a batch of them. She didn't even tell me this shit. She's like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to make some of these for your coworkers. Just go ahead and share them. And, I wasn't paying attention. It was around the time of my birthday. It was on my birthday. And when I take them to my coworkers, it was the start of the shift. My foreman, and I work construction, so my foreman at the time, he all of a sudden makes an announcement, just real quick. Usually we talk about safety the first thing, right? And the first thing he says, all right, so today it's Robert's birthday, and since then, at that moment, I was like, oh my God, what is going on now? Turns out that Maria had spoken to him over the phone, had a conversation with him, and planned this whole thing. Try to get pizza for the crew, and share the chimis. And that was just what it was. It was just sharing the chimis back then. It wasn't nothing that we had planned to sell. But we shared them one other time. We're talking. My birthday's in March, so in November we shared them for Thanksgiving season. Shared them again, and the crew again loved them. And then sometime after that, early the following year, the same crews that would try them, they kept on bugging me. Hey, when is she gonna make some more? When we'll pay for them. Let's do it. And I tell Maria, hey, these guys are asking for some. Do you want to make some or what? And since then, actually that first week, we weren't even sure how much to price them at. Like, all right, cool, let's do it. We gave them a price this coming Friday. Give me a number. How many you guys need? And we're talking. I wasn't expecting that many, but the number they came back to me with 95 on that first Friday. I was like, wow. Just hit the ground running right away. We weren't even prepared, right, babe?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah, we just took off. We took off to the store. We bought everything we needed. I mean, if people are gonna be purchasing it, we knew we needed to up everything. So we bought racks, we bought fryers, we bought everything we needed to make sure it's the perfect product.
Wow. Well, now is this that dessert, the chimi? Was this something that you've made over the years, Maria, or is this something that you just put together last minute for the crew type of thing, or tell us a little bit about that?
Well, actually, I love just trying different desserts or making different things at home, so that's pretty much what happened there. And I was like, I've made these before. There must have been a gap of time where I just didn't make them, but I was like, I've made these before, I know. So I kept trying to dig through my pictures, and sure enough, I found one that's dated 2014.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, that's my oldest picture that I could find so far. But yeah. So definitely there was just a gap in time where I just hadn't made them at all. And then, 2018, I was like, oh, let's just make these, So sure enough, I just brought them back and shared them. And 2019 comes around, and that's when, they start requesting to purchase.
Yeah. And that this was at the SoFi Stadium, correct?
That's right. I was working SoFi Stadium. The foundation was just laid down, and they were building the steel, and I was working on what they call the deck work. They hadn't even laid concrete on any of the floors yet, right? So we were basically working nights, and the night crew was like a tight-knit crew, and we like to share. We ended up sharing a lot of my pastries with them. But at SoFi Stadium, it couldn't have been a more perfect opportunity, because I was able to work with a whole bunch of other crews, not just ourselves. It was such a huge job site that it was my first time foreman gig, so I was able to talk to the other foremen. A lot of times the foreman will buy some treats for their crew on Friday, and that was our perfect in. The opportunity to provide those treats, because a lot of times, getting donuts every Friday, it gets a little boring.
Yeah.
And it's just pretty cool, just to know that that's how we started. It's like the stadium was being built, and we were just getting started, and that's where it just kind of it grew. That's where it was born, So that's pretty cool to just a part of our history.
Absolutely. That's really cool. That's really cool. And did any of the members of the Los Angeles Rams, players or the organization, have they tasted the chimis by any chance?
Not as of yet, but that'd be so awesome,
Wow.
just get there. And I mean, just with the background and everything. So, we don't know what the future holds, but that's definitely awesome to hopefully happen, in the future.
Let's tag them, next time I'll tag the Los Angeles Rams on Instagram. Right, and then see what we can come up with. But Maria, if you could be so kind as to just kind of describe the chimi, your main pastry, your main dessert. Can you take us through that a little bit? Describe it for us.
So it's like a cheesecake cream, cheesecake filling inside with fruit. Initially our original is a strawberry, so it's a fresh strawberry fruit as well, and it's wrapped. And so it's wrapped, it's fried, and so it's a deep fried cheesecake chimichanga, well, coated with its cinnamon sugar coating as well on the outside. And there's different ways of eating it. It's like you can eat it, obviously warm, when it's fresh. You could eat it at room temp, or you also have the people that just love to stick it in the fridge and eat them cold. So there's a variety of ways of eating it as well. And that was the first flavor. And again, like I said, it all kind of started at the SoFi Stadium and his crew, So one of the girls at his crew also asked, like, oh, could you make me a blueberry one? And I was like, sure, like I could do that. I could just switch out the fruit, like I'll just do that. Sure enough, that's where, it evolved. So I'm always referencing back to her. Her name's Camille, and so I credit her for, just that evolution, just bringing this idea, and it just totally evolved, since then. Her other suggestion had been pineapple. So that's one of our summer flavors as well. So it's going to be coming out.
Oh, I can't wait to taste it. I can't wait, and that's so you went from one flavor, right? And now you're up to, I think you said 15? I'm not
over
mistaken.
15. Yeah, we have rotating flavors. So like in summer we have strawberry, mango, pineapple, and peach. We always have our strawberry cheesecake and our chocolate chip. We've brought in Oreo. We have, our rotating holiday flavors also. So we have cherry cheesecake. And then we have our raspberry, our blueberry, which recently just got pulled. Our WAP, which is our warm apple pie, which just got pulled as well. So we're making space. And then we also have our guava, which we're going to start to pull as well, just because we have to move things around, to give us some leg room to be able to keep up, because we are definitely just a really small shop, so definitely giving us time to keep up and just keeping things fresh, keeping things moving, We have our peanut butter flavors as well. So we have our peanut butter strawberry preserves. We have peanut butter and grape jelly. We also have the king, which is our most new peanut butter flavor, which is the peanut butter and banana. So it's after Elvis Presley, which can't be any better because he's also a hockey veteran.
And you call that the king, right? Is that
yes?
Yeah. Gosh, unbelievable. I'm getting hungry. Just stop, Maria. Just stop, guys. That's it. Oh my goodness. No, it's amazing. To see how far you guys have come, and I know you guys have you set up your LLC, and you've incorporated, right?
Right.
It's very recent.
What's that, Robert?
Yeah, that was very recent. That was a recent setup. So yeah, I know Maria's been very proud of getting that set up. She's been working hard on that. Like I mentioned earlier, I still have my full-time job, but this is all of her heart's going into this. So it's been great to see this to grow.
Oh, absolutely. I can tell it's been flourishing, man. It's you guys have all your merch, your uniform. You guys are in uniform at the pop-ups. You got your logo and everything really looks amazing. And one thing, I wanted to ask you about your logo. What inspired that logo? Because I know it's the picture of a little picture of a monkey. Yeah, there you go, right on the hat. There it is. The chimi, and then in Spanish, changa, right? Chimichanga.
That's right.
How did you guys? Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome. Brilliant. Talk about that. How did you guys come up with the logo?
It's a little funny story. We were with the family, with our god kids, our niece and nephew, and we were sharing with them. Just sharing the pastries with them, and we wanted to see. Well, we wanted him to ask his parents, "Do you want a chimichanga?" Chimichanga. Just that simple. He was so young he could barely say it, so we broke it down for him in half. Chimi, and then changa. And from there, we the gear started turning. We should call it call them Chimis, and then also Mrs. Chimi is kind of a la Mrs. Fields, that brand we all recognize. took a little page from that book, but the changuita, you know, the chimichanga.
It was actually my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law had, I told my nephew to go ahead and tell the family, if they want a chimichanga, so he goes over there and he's like, chimichana, like he couldn't say it. So my brother-in-law broke it down. He's like, chimichanga, chimichanga.
Right.
And he would say it, but he wouldn't, it wouldn't go, so it wouldn't like register. Cause he was like 3 years old at the time. So sure enough, my brother-in-law was like, I got it. He's like, Mrs. Chimi. And she'll be a changa, on her shirt it'll say Mrs. Chimi. So it's like, it all just kind of like went together.
That's awesome. I love how it just, like you said, it just came together and it just, that's it. It just clicked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that moment. What about the colors? How did you decide on the colors, on the red and white?
I mean, you know what? It's pretty much just, just those colors that attract you,
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then we're working with pastries. We're working with something that's, it's a dessert, so you want to make sure it's one of those, colors that's like friendly and family oriented and, for kids to also, be connected to it and just families overall.
No doubt. Yeah. That red really pops. It really catches the eye, and no, everything just came together for you guys, and it's really nice. And also, I wanted to also mention the cheesecake flan. That was just another. Forgot to mention that was another tasty treat that I got to experience. And are there more flan, different types of flan coming down the line for you guys?
As of right, I mean, that's definitely been a thought. So it's definitely in the air, but as of now, this is the one we have. And that one wasn't planned either, for a second I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to keep it as a secret menu or something? Like, I wasn't really sure what we were going to do with it, because it originally was not part of the menu. But one of my friends, she's come to our family gatherings and she's ate it here at our house before. So she's like, that's what I want. I was like, well, I don't know. I was like, I don't even know how to price that. I was like, I don't even know. So she's the one that would start ordering it. And then I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just bring it out, but as a secret menu, that wasn't really going to work for us because we're so new. So nobody really knew to ask for it, So eventually I'm like, you know what, I just got to put it out. So that's how that happened. We just put it out there.
No doubt, no doubt. And what is your? You might have mentioned it. What is your best seller? What's your most popular or best seller? Yeah.
Well, the strawberry cheesecake is always like the number one, right? But Robert's always in the front, so he's got a few other ones that tend to pop out at him. Like I believe he's mentioned guava.
Yeah, definitely the guava. When it's a pretty classic flavor. You hear that from the guava pastries that they have, so people are familiar with it. And when they hear us talk about that, we have cheesecake and guava, like, ooh, I can just see their ears perk up, and their eyes just you see their pupils dilate practically. It's kind of funny, really funny to watch people's reactions to enjoy our pastry, basically.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, you guys are definitely onto something. Now, you guys are obviously you're a married couple. Talk about that dynamic as business partners as well. I mean, how does that work for you guys? Is there challenges there? I mean, are you guys kind of is it a pretty cohesive thing for you two? Talk about that a little bit for you guys.
Well, Maria, she's the brains of the operation. I have no problem with her, acknowledging that. I'm the muscle. I like to help out with the setting up of the pop-ups. Loading up the truck whenever we have to set up everything, and yeah. But man, she's in charge of promotions, in charge of everything, the business side of it. She runs the whole show, and I have to follow the leader. I mean, we work pretty well most of the time, right?
Wow. Okay. So Maria, it sounds like you're kind of steering the ship, and kind of spearheading everything. Does it ever become a a daunting task for you, or obviously you have Robert to lean on there and support you, and I'm sure you guys work as a team. What is does it ever become a little overwhelming for you at times?
Oh yeah, because everything's new. It's definitely not. It's not my field. Like, this is definitely not where I come from. This is not my background. I mean, I have a bachelor's in sociology. With the option of law and society. So like, this is definitely not anywhere close. I
Yeah,
used to work alongside social workers, juvenile probation officers. So this is like definitely another scope.
yeah,
So everything's pretty new for me. It's just, I've met great people along the way. It's just been an amazing experience when it comes to networking and just meeting so many nice people out there. It just kind of reassures you of all the positivity that's out there. And just people I would have never met otherwise. Like, I have one person that's also, she was initially a customer, a guest of ours, that would come in and enjoy our pastries. And we it's funny, like I take orders via DM most of the time,
okay.
so that's pretty much like where it all comes in. And so one time she just sent me a gift, and I was like, oh my God, that's so hilarious. I'm like, dude, that's something I would send. So at that point I was like, oh, we started clicking and we started messaging each other a little bit more. I was like, oh my God, oh dude, like, we are so alike. It's insane. Like, we get along so well. We've become really good friends. Like, I mean, we talk every day, and she's actually started helping us at pop-ups.
Oh,
So I mean, that's just, I would have never experienced that. I would have never met her without an experience like this. So definitely, Mrs. Chimi has opened up so many doors. We've met so many other businesses, and I'm always looking up to people that are where I want to be, or where I see, how much ambition they have, and their drive. It's
yeah,
like, that's where, like, okay, this is it. Like, those are the people I want to get to know. Those are the people, like, see how they move. What do they do? Where are they at? Just like, what's their drive? It's just it's something that just kind of keeps you reassured. Like, just keep pushing, just keep going. And I mean, that's one of the things for me. It's like, I don't like to live with regrets. So for me, it's more like, you try, you go out there, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but you're never going to say I didn't try. Like, you're not going to have to
exactly.
look back and be like, I should have done it, have questions about it. No, just go and do it. And then you just move, just keep moving. If that didn't work, take a step to the right and keep going forward. It's
Yeah,
just, so it's definitely just a lot of growth, like growth spurts, a lot of, what do they call it? Those growing
growing
pains.
pains, growing
Yes,
pains.
definitely growing pains every once in a
Yeah,
while. Yeah, and I mean, I've had stressful days, so definitely, like, Robert's had to, like, hear me, like, having my stressful moments or not knowing what to do. And sometimes, my friends, like, they're able to definitely support me as well. So definitely having a lot of positive people around me has definitely been so helpful. And then my parents too. It's just my mom actually is the first one to purchase. She purchased a commercial fridge for us. Like, and this is
oh,
early on. Like, before, like, right when we were barely starting. So
right,
it's like, for her
okay,
to be able to go out and do that and gift it to us, it was like, that means something. Like, she was backing us from the
yeah,
start. So just experiencing things like that is pretty awesome.
no
But yeah,
doubt. No,
everything's definitely it's a new experience. Every single step is a new experience for us.
yeah, and I like what Chris Maida, the C Smoke Shop. I like what he said, that he told me once. If one door closes on you, open 5 more. Just keep opening doors. If something doesn't work out, as an entrepreneur, he's just got to keep opening doors.
What I've kind of experienced is that, exactly, like, when doors close, the thing is, like, it's giving you your path. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least that's
Yeah,
how I feel. Like, certain things I wanted to work out in a certain way, it's like they didn't work out. And yeah, sure, I got bummed out. But eventually, you know what? Like, months later or weeks later, days later, depending on what the situation is, even on my personal life, I've even experienced that from years later. And I'm like,
No
oh
doubt.
my gosh, like that's insane. Like how these doors closed, it wasn't meant to be, but yet now it's coming full circle. So it's just, don't be let down when the door closes. The thing is, you're being guided to your path,
Love that. I love that.
mean, I started at Jamba Juice when I
Okay.
was 18 years old.
Oh,
So working at Jamba Juice, that was like pretty much one of my first jobs. When I came back from basic training and everything, so I came back, I worked at Jamba Juice. That was one of my first ones. I worked at Express, but to know that I worked at Jamba Juice when I was 18, and I'm working with fruit, and I'm just like, oh my God, like how in the world did that just happen? Like it just turned right back around, and I'm working back with fruit, and I've had experience, like dealing with the kitchen setups and working with juices, fruits, and all of that, the same type of materials, So that's what I'm talking about. It's like it comes around, it comes
yeah,
full circle, and it just guides you.
absolutely. The universe guides you, right? And it's the food industry is not to be taken lightly. That is serious work, man. So I have a lot of respect for that industry because I worked in restaurants for 2 years myself. I was bussing tables, and everything I learned there is just it is not that is serious work, man. So I give my hats off to all of you, to both of you, because I know that it is it's work, man. I mean, there's no other way around it. Mr. Chimi, Robert, has there ever been a time where you two felt like, maybe this isn't going to work out? Let's just, let's call it a day. Let's whatever. Have you had that moment together?
I don't think I've felt that yet. If it's even going to happen,
Hopefully never, right?
Yeah, hopefully never. But with this product, just to see people's reactions when they first try it, when they first hear about it, it's got, to me, it's like there's unlimited potential there. So I don't see it I don't see it ending.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
for me, I that's not even something I really think about. It's just I just keep moving forward, So I don't know where it's going, and I've said this before. Like I don't know. I don't know what's happening tomorrow. I don't even know. Like I have no idea. But I'm just going. I'm going with
Yeah.
it. Like Mrs. Chimi's driving, or like actually she's taking me somewhere, and I'm hopefully making the right steps. That's pretty much it. Like I don't know the future. I just know I'm moving forward,
No
and
doubt.
just gonna keep going and see where that takes us.
And that's fun though. When you're doing something like, for example, I do this podcast. I love it. I'm passionate about it, and I don't know where it's going to take me. I know it's fun. I enjoy it, and to me, like that unknown, that uncertainty aspect of it is just like thrilling. You're like, wow, I wonder where this is going to take me. I read somewhere is just to fall in love with the unknown. I saw that recently, but yeah, I can relate to that, no doubt, and it's just it's like, wow, the journey, right? You hear about the journey to the destination, and once you get to the destination, whatever that is, you look back and you realize, wow, the journey was where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main, that's the sauce, right? As they say.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And then just having all those positive people around us, and everybody that's given us the opportunity this far, including yourself. I just want to say, thank you to everybody that's given us that opportunity, everybody that's given us even just to try us out, even if they just followed our Instagram. It's like, all of that is support, even if they don't, and they just come and check it out. Like, thank you for checking it out. It's like, at least we're here. Like, you saw us, and it's just I'm just definitely thankful for that. Anybody that's given us, a time, any time in their day, to experience it, to check us out, and just to go on this journey with us,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to see. I can't wait to see. And I tell this to all my guests. I bring on people who are just passionate and who are doing extraordinary things in life, whatever, in many walks of life, from many industries. And I tell them, hey, I can't wait to see your journey, and because once you come on this podcast, I live vicariously through you, as through my guests, you know, I share your content. I'll support any way I can, you know, and that's one way of building community. I want to build community. I want to build a support group, you know, where everybody's helping each other out, because we're all going after our dreams. We're all going after our goals, whatever that may be, whatever everybody has. That varies for everybody. But you know, I want to just, I enjoy helping others. You know, that's just, for me, that's just brings me a lot of joy. But you know, going back to Mrs. Chimi, guys, what are some of the struggles, some of the challenges you guys have faced, and how did you overcome those?
Let's see.
Good question. I don't know.
Maybe if you've had a good ride, or you guys have had, it's been that good, huh?
I would probably say watching Maria navigate Instagram. Man, I could say now she's got a PhD on on how to really properly you know, properly use Instagram as a tool to promote and just run the business almost wholly through that thing, man. It's but at first it was a bit tough, and then little by little, once we started getting you know, more and more followers, we started getting some influencers on there, some foodies, you know, from the Hood Foodie, from 818 Insider, from Meet the 818. You know, once you see get that type of exposure, I guess it becomes a little easier. But still, the promotion wise, navigating on that Instagram, even now, still seems a little tough.
Yeah, you guys are at like 3,500 followers, and that's solid, you know, and it's no surprise why. I mean, you guys are amazing people and an amazing product, and but yeah, I know Instagram and social media, if you use it as a tool, if it's used properly, it can be very helpful promoting your product, whatever that may be, right? Podcast, you know, whatever, you know. So I can tell you that myself, you know, I probably wouldn't be on social media if it wasn't for my podcast, you know, and trying to promote it, using it as a tool, you know,
Right.
and learning how to navigate it, as you said, Robert. And how's starting out for yourself, Maria, on Instagram and social media? Was it kind of a, you know, how was it starting out? Was it kind of a foreign thing for you? Did it take a while to learn it?
Yeah, initially, I mean, this is the only reason we're on Instagram, you know, because we didn't have one. We only had Facebook, you know, like for personal use. But I did, you know, share the pastries with my cousin, and he's on Instagram, and he's got a large following, you know. So I had shared them with him, and just, you know, took him to my godson's birthday, because, you know, it's my cousin's child is my godson. So it took some there. He was like, "Oh shoot!" He was like, "These are good. These are bomb." You know. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna post some. I'll tag you." He's like, "Open an Instagram," and, you know, it's like, he was like, "You're gonna want a new phone. You're gonna want to take the pictures." You know, he was the one pretty much first giving me the whole inside scoop. You know, and definitely he's the first one. He was like a major support, you know, to help us get started, because again, we were new to Instagram. The only exposure we were gonna get is whoever found us on Instagram, and so with his push, with his push, it just launched us. It helped us launch initially, and we got a few sales from there, and then they shared it. So we initially kind of grew that way. But we did grow slowly, because obviously we hadn't been doing pop-ups at that time, being so new. We were still, you know, learning the ropes of everything, starting to develop. And pretty much our primary source at that point was actually the stadium, because the stadium started, that's where most of our orders were actually coming from. So it was the stadium, and then my cousin helped us get to the public side of things a little bit. And so, you know, initially our first year, we didn't have, you know, we got 1,000 followers, I think, our first year, like on our first anniversary. I was like pushing it. I was like, let's get 1,000 for our first year. So it happened, but we definitely grew a lot more once we added ourselves, once we started attending pop-ups. That's when, like most of the growth started, going. But initially, we started a little slow, but that was okay because again, we were learning the ropes, Mrs. Chimi, fell on our laps, it was just what I say is she's a gift from God, so we just learned the ropes, and learned different techniques the first year or so.
What are some of the nicest compliments that you've been told about your pastries, your desserts? Go ahead, you guys. Don't be modest.
Yes. Yeah, hard to remember. I don't know. The thing that just comes to mind with me is like people's reactions when they first take that bite. There was one thing I saw personally when that whole first year out at the stadium. I was able to see everybody's reaction. Maria was a little jealous of that. She's always texting me like, "So what did they say? What did they say?" And like they loved it. That's all I kept on texting back. We try to get some reaction videos, especially when they try that cheesecake flan. There's a couple old coworkers that I'd record them as they try it. I don't know. Oh my God. When they first try it, oh my God, they both same reaction. It was pretty funny.
OMG, yeah.
And this last time at C's Smoke Shop, one of the neighboring vendors, he buys we give him a wok, right? So the warm apple pie, so he goes, he eats it, and then he's like, hey, he comes over and he's like, you see that smile? You see that smile? This just brought back my smile. Like it just, it brought warmth, he was basically saying like it brought his childhood back kind of, so
yeah.
I mean, you know what, that's the thing. Like I have a few pictures. I think I showed them to you the last time we met. There's some pictures of construction workers with the chimi and they're eating it, and it's just like it's those candid shots, or some of them were candid. It was like, at a distance. Others, were like just looking right at the camera. But those pictures, I always go back to those I feel those. It's like, because I'm never out there, so like I'm behind the scenes.
Right.
Robert's usually in the front, whether it's selling at a pop-up, he's always in the front. So he gets to see like if people eat them or what, like initial reactions. He's usually the one out there, like seeing. I'm usually in the back, or I'm prepping orders for them to go,
Yeah.
So those pictures though, it's just they touch me. Those that's what motivates me, like that's touching to me when I get to see, a hardworking person, like somebody just doing everything they gotta do, to survive and just to get the job done and just working hard, like all of us, just out there, regular people working, and being able to experience that, just to take a break and have something that's a dessert that's just gonna bring you some happiness, some, just a break, like you get to enjoy it, some relief, like some. That's what drives me. Like it just melts my heart when I see that picture, or those pictures. It's like that's what it brings to me. At least that's what it means to me. It's like I'm sharing this, like something that I've made has created this feeling for that person. They got to take a break and they actually got to just check out, and experience a delicious treat, and be able to smile while they take that break on a construction site.
Amazing. Yeah. No, that's truly special because, everyone I talk to who makes food, right? Whether it's pastries or hot wings or hamburgers, whatever type of food, they get the most. They've all said the same thing, Maria, where, what brings us the most joy is the reaction. And, when somebody tastes one of our creations and we're bringing them that joy, that's priceless, to us, and yeah, that's truly a special thing, right? Because you summed it up, Maria, like your creations are bringing somebody else, happiness and joy and that's really, really special, because you're making it you're coming from the heart. You guys are both passionate about what you're doing, and to see somebody else's smile on their face must be truly a joy, a joy.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Take us through a little bit through the process of when you're on your menu, when you're thinking about bringing something new, creating a new flavor or adding a new flavor. How do you guys go about that process?
Well, to be honest, I'm pretty much the one ready to push things out most of the time. But we went a little bit slower, like Robert tends to be the other side of it, where he's like, don't overdo it, like we have to be able to keep up, and all that. I mean, I have to be able to understand his side too.
There's a checks and balances there for you guys,
right.
checks.
Yeah, so we end up doing that. Like that tends to be our conversations where I'm like, I can come up with so many ideas or different just different things to do, whether it's decorations, that we're adding, or our view or flavors or whatever it is. And he's the other side of it, like, let me check that out, like let me see what I could think of. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing though. I mean, sometimes I could get upset about it because I'm like ready to go, like, hey, let's just do it. But he's like, nah, like we do have a line. I think is like with Downey, when we were doing pop-ups there, we ventured out to Downey because we couldn't find many pop-ups in the valley at that time. So we have a following in Downey, and we'd go every month. And so we would get a line, and there was a waiting period. So we would always encourage our guests to come order first or check in if they pre-ordered. Check in first and then go shop, come back after. Let us know you're here so we could start prepping your order, So we do have a wait from time to time there. And so that was one of his concerns, because then we have the people that come up to order. So we have our pre-orders and then we have new people coming up to order. So then for him, it was like, if you get too many different flavors, it's too much juggling, and then it's gonna increase our waiting time.
Mm-hmm.
So those were things that were challenges. So yeah, like when you were asking about challenges, like those were different challenges that we had to address, and like obviously we rotate flavors because that's necessary, and also things fresh as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we do focus on how many flavors are out at a time, and like how many quantities of flavor each flavor we're making as well.
I see. Yeah. And then you like you said, you rotate the summer flavors, and
correct.
So yeah. So at any one time, just depending on the season, typically see to have anywhere from, I don't know, 5 to 10 flavors going.
5 to 6 flavors of chimis.
Mm-hmm.
But we also carry the cheesecake flans, and we have 2 different sizes of cheesecake flans. We have a regular size flan and the baby flan that we just introduced probably like 6 months ago. And not only the flans, but we also have our nom noms. We started out with our Nutella Nom Noms. They're basically little deep fried pockets, right? The little wraps of pockets.
Oh yeah.
Nutella.
You guys gave me some.
Sugar.
Yes, I had those too. Oh my goodness,
I had those too, right?
I had those. Oh, delicious! Gosh, yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot about those.
Yeah, we have the
Nom Noms.
There's more product, more product to push out there. There's Nutella Nom Noms, and then the brain started turning again, and then Maria created we started looking at products to use, and we have some that are filled with Duvalin, that Mexican cream candy. And we have some that we use a different flavor of Duvalin, and then we also have one that's chocolate coconut Nom Nom. So,
oh wow.
So yeah, we try to make a variety of things, but it can be overwhelming. And we can't forget the buñuelo fries. The Mexican treats, the deep fried tortillas that we cut up into strips, and we call them fries, buñuelo fries.
Yeah, and that was pretty much Robert's creation right there. because we would go to Norm's, for our little breakfast meetings, and I'm like, so he just came up with it. He's like, oh, we should add buñuelos, and I'm like, but that's kind of, like it's just buñuelo, and I'm like, buñuelo chips, like should we do that? And he's like, nah, not chips, and then he's like, fries. I was like, oh shoot, fries, like just the word fries, like that's something different. I've never seen it. I've never heard of buñuelo fries. So I'm like, that's cool, like that's something unique. So, he's pretty much the one that came up with that, so that's our own little creation as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So you guys are, 2 years in, the journey's been amazing, and you're on to something. People are loving your product. What are some goals for you guys, for yourselves? What would you like to see maybe in some short-term goals and maybe some longer-term goals for yourselves, for Mrs. Chimi?
I mean, just to increase the stability, obviously like our foundation, that's pretty much my focus right now, is to just keep increasing that, basically all the back office type work right now, is what I'm trying to focus on, making sure that that's ready to go. So if in case there's, like once we're ready to push forward and keep growing, it's like, we got to get that set, like you can't keep growing and then have holes in your foundation. It's like, no, that's not gonna work,
Right.
Only just covering all the holes, getting everything in line, is pretty much my focus at this point, so when the LLC was gonna go down, it's like I already knew that was something I wanted to do, and that was like years, like when we started, but we didn't jump on that right away. So little by little, just things that I've always wanted to do with it, or I've thought of, even if we didn't do them right away, they're still gonna get done. You know what I'm saying? It's just I felt like it was time. We were ready for that, so we moved forward, and I went ahead and just got it done.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No, I think there's no limit, Maria, for you guys, and there's no limit. Would you ever see do you foresee or envision yourselves having like some type of brick and mortar or anything like that?
I mean, you know what? Robert's usually mentioning a truck, and I'm mostly like looking at us at a brick and mortar, so those are just ideas that we both bounce around, like he talks about one thing, I talk about, hey, look, this other thing might happen, like, you just never know. So just kind of keeping everything open, just being open-minded about everything, and any opportunities that come up, people that you meet, you just never know. You never know. Yeah. So I'm not closing the door on anything, and I'm not saying no to anything. It's just, like just kind of having an open mind, like that'd be cool, or being like in a food court, just different ideas, and then now that we're doing also the San Fernando outdoor market, that is totally awesome because it's so close to home. We're able to get home in 10 minutes, which is amazing in comparison to an hour. Like we were always used to driving out for like an hour or so. So driving out, driving in, and it's just it's refreshing. So it's been refreshing to have new opportunities in the area.
Yeah.
And, getting to meet new people here as well. And then also there's so many developments. There's a lot of development in San Fernando right now, and we see the potential of this general area. Like we're in Arleta, but so we're not far from it. It's just
right
down a few blocks. So there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of growth happening in this area, and that's something that we moved to Arleta like about 10, 11 years ago. So we're like, oh, it's going to eventually come, like the changes are eventually going to come, but now we're actually seeing it. So we're like, oh shoot, like it's probably, and again, like I said, doors close, everything starts lining up, things come full circle. So for me, that's what I'm kind of like keeping my eyes open. I'm like, oh wow, like we're getting to meet people that are kind of like in charge or know the new plans for new buildings, new commercial buildings, and just getting to know those people. It's like, oh wow, like who knows what the future is gonna hold, like now you have all these connections.
That's awesome.
Or at least, you get to know people that are in charge of certain things, or.
Yeah, the networking aspect
like the
is
developers and
critical.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's great. That's great, Maria. Like I said, I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do here in the near future. And where could one or take us through your ordering process? How does one order your product off your menu?
Well, the easiest way is through Instagram. Because we're always on Instagram. It's just the easiest source. So right now it's through DM. We do have a website, which is mrschimi.com. And I've been working and I've been trying to develop, like a good system there, but it just involves other programming and having to, just connect with outside sources, to be able to process that and make it seamless, So the one I have on there's one on there, but it's not the easiest, I think. So it's there as an option, but text messaging is definitely like an easy way, texting, and then Instagram DMs are like the go-tos. I mean, we'll still get the orders, obviously, but that's the type of back office I'm talking about, things that I'm working on. So it's like the option is there, but I know it's not the most user friendly. DM is the easiest. Texting is also easy. Phone calls are okay. But those are things that I'm still working on.
Gotcha. And where are some regular pop-ups that you guys are connected to on a regular basis? Where could someone go find you in person on the weekends?
Well, it's at Vendorama, so it's at Vendorama_CA. So that's the one that was in charge of Downey. And so, however, like now it's kind of moved around a little bit. So we're in Paramount. But basically it's in that area. And then we also have the downtown San Fernando outdoor market, and that's every 4th Saturday.
Okay.
Well, the Downey Paramount one is every 2nd Saturday. And then we know that C's Smoke Shop is doing it like every like 3rd is it 4th Sunday?
I think it's 4th Sunday.
3rd?
Yeah.
4th? Okay, yeah. And so I know we attended theirs, and we're definitely grateful, for the experience there as well. We'll be going back in June as well to their location. Yeah, in June.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
we know that the Wild Plum was doing some. We did attend 2 to 3 back to back. But like that's one that we'll we try to tap into as well. And we're also doing Los Feliz Flea.
Okay.
Which is just Los Feliz. It's in Atwater, Los Feliz area.
It's at Marshall High School. They have that one every weekend, but we'll try to schedule ourselves in whenever we can with them. That's a pretty big market.
Marshall High School every weekend. Yeah.
Marshall High School. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm familiar with that area, and yeah, no, it's so there's definitely, you guys are out there. You're in the community, ladies and gentlemen. They hit them up, shoot them a DM, or go see them in person at one of these places. I have one last question for each of you, and that's who would you guys like to sit down with, and who are maybe some mentors, people who have influenced you in your lives? And it could be anyone, family, friends, celebrity, whoever, that you would love to sit down and have dinner with. Maria, go ahead. Ladies first.
I've never thought of this. Wow.
I like asking that question because it's hard to narrow it down for some. For some, it's not. But I just, I get a variety of answers, and it's cool. It's cool to see.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just trying to capture from everyone. I'm just trying to like, even other business owners, other small shops that I know, or that I've come to meet. Like, I just look at everyone and admire certain things about every single person, or see how their drive is, and feed off of that, so it's like, it's just, I can't narrow it down. It's just kind of widespread, among different people, because it doesn't have to be like a billionaire, you know what I mean? It could be like anybody that's, you know, like near me, you know, and other little shops or other small shops, and, you know, just like us, and just to see their drive and feed off of that. And, you know, so it's kind of hard for me to narrow it down.
It is. It is. You know, I try to take something from every individual I come in contact with that I meet. So I get it. You know, I get it. You know. How about for yourself, Robert?
Well, for me, I guess I'm looking at it from a different angle. It's, what comes to mind is my family. You know, just having dinner with my dad, with my aunts and uncles, and sharing, updating them what's going on with us, with the business. Yeah, I always like to share what's going on with them, or they always ask us, like, "Oh, how's the business going? What are you guys doing?" Things like that. You know, from that aspect, I like to have dinner with the family.
Family's number one, man. Family's number one. That's a great answer. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, go ahead, Maria. Were you gonna say something?
I don't know. I just thought about my grandma. I just thought about my grandma just because, you know, I mean, my parents are from El Salvador. So, I mean, my mom, I mean, they were low income, you know, like they worked hard. My grandma would, it just so happens that my grandma used to sell products, you know, like she would sell breads or sweets, candies, things like that. And my mom would help her make them and go and sell. So it's just, and then my mom would tell me my dad has an aunt that would also sell. So she's like, "Oh, you're like your dad's aunt," you know. She's like, "Oh yeah, she would go and she would sell. She was out there," and you know, and then my grandma just comes to mind too, and I'm like, "Oh wow," like just the way it kind of just comes around, you know, and how hard my grandma worked and the life that they had. You know, I mean, it's a third world country, you know, and coming over here and trying to do everything they could for us, you know, from school, from making sure that we were taken care of, from just all the way, you know, like the whole thing, you know, from school and just everything. There's just a lot of effort, you know, like as a parent, you know, what the parents do for their kids, you know. So I mean, I'm definitely grateful for them, you know, and everything they've done for us. And I mean, my dad's definitely somebody I really look up to, or like my, you know, my parents, you know, in general. But my dad's mostly like the one that spearheads things, you know, like the business side of things. And he's actually he's an entrepreneur himself, actually. He's a landscaper gardener, and he's been able to build like his whole business, you know, and it's just him and his worker, and it's usually been like one worker or two workers, you know. So he's I used to help him with making his receipts, you know, when I was like in high school or younger. Like I would write them out for him and just kind of like help him out. So just to know like everything he's worked for and everything he's done and how far he's come, you know, he's somebody I always looked up to. And something that always comes to mind is like, how am I gonna do what he does or more? You know, and it just always comes to me, and it's like, how am I gonna do what he does or more? Because I was born here and I should be able to do more. He came here and he worked so hard and he's done everything he's could, and I see where he's at, and I'm like, I need to get there and just keep going, you know. And I just didn't know the avenue. I would just, you know, I mean, because working here, it's like you get a salary or you get a paycheck, and it's like, how could you expand more? Like, how do you do that? How do you move if you're limited? There's no possibility. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
You know, and it could get hard. You know, like life could get hard, and things are more expensive, and you know, it's just so many factors. But when Chimi started coming around, I was like, oh my god. You know, I would just kind of tell myself, like, is that it? Like, is that an avenue? You know, like, is that somewhere where I could show my dad, like, hey, look, like, I could be some, you know, like, I could follow your footsteps. Like, I could do this, you know? So those are just thoughts, you know, that come to my mind, you know, and I see him, and, you know, sometimes when I talk to him about Chimi or show him certain things that we have, like, I could kind of, like, see it in his face, you know? Like, he knows we're a small business right now, but I think he's starting to see it, you know? At first, he was just kind of like, okay, you know, like, you know, I mean, each little piece, like, how much is it? You know, like, how many pieces do I have to sell? You know,
Yeah.
to make it into a good quantity. You know, so I mean, you know, it's building blocks, definitely building blocks, but
Yeah.
it's gotta keep going.
That's it. Yeah. No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You said it's.
And I mean, you know what? You just never know who sees you. You never
Yeah.
know who sees you. Like, I was amazed. Like once we were just having dinner, and next thing you know, like I look over, my phone gets a text. I look over, and it says, "Hi, it's Tori Spelling," and I was like,
What?
"Oh my god!" I was like, "Okay, like all right." You
Really?
know, I was just reading it to Robert. I was like, "Hi, it's Tori Spelling. Like, do you still have space for Father's Day? You know, like for a Father's Day order?" So I just looked at him. I was like, "Okay," and he's like, "Yeah, right back." You know, so. I
That's
was
cool.
just like, you know, we're just chatting back and forth, and I was not nervous about it. But then he was like, "It's really Tori Spelling," you know. So he started getting like excited about it, and he started making me nervous over a text message. And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "You're making me nervous on a text." Sure enough, he sends me a picture,
Oh wow.
and she's just like thumbs up, you know. And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's her," you know. So that was, you know, just experiences we have, you know, and she
Cool.
just found us online. On Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, it was
very cool.
Like, so you never know who sees you.
Yeah.
You know, you never
You
know.
just never know. Yeah. No doubt. Well, yeah. No, it's been, like I said, it's a lot of fun watching you guys, and it's gonna be more fun seeing what heights you reach, and you know, I can't wait to get back out there and meet up with you guys and taste one of those treats. Yeah, looking forward to that. No, I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck, all the success and beyond. And you know, once again, I want to thank you for coming on. If you guys can really quick, just let the good people know where they can find you. And I know we kind of touched on it already, mentioned that, but if we could just kind of yeah, let them know where you know, your Instagram, website, once again, phone number, and all that good stuff.
Website is MRSCHIMI, MrsChimi.com. But like Maria mentioned, the easiest way to get in contact with us is at Mrs. Chimi through DMs, through Instagram DMs. You'll be talking to Mrs. Chimi herself, Maria. You know, she's the one who takes the orders there, real gives it a personal touch. So we have a Facebook page. That one's it's hard to keep up on that one, right? But yeah, we also have a TikTok. You know, follow us on there.
Awesome. There it is. Yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And like I said, it's going to be fun watching you guys. And any last minute shout outs? Any last shout outs before we call it a night?
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's given us their time. You know, everybody that's given us their time, the opportunity to try us out, you know, to give us a look, you know, to give us a follow, just to have the opportunity, you know, in the first place. Because without an opportunity, how are you ever gonna know, you know, like whether you like it or you don't. So, you know, just giving us a try is you know, we're really grateful for that. And also we're grateful for everybody that's given us mostly their time, because time is money. You know, time is money. Like right now you're here with us, you know, and it's like time is money, and time is everything. Like you could be spending time with your family, you know, you could be spending time with doing other things, you know, but to be here with us, you know, like everybody that's given us opportunity, everybody that's given us, you know, like Los Ruiseñores, you know, like they welcomed us into their pop-ups that they were having, you know. So it's just humbling, you know. We're really appreciative of that, you know, just the opportunity. And for, you know, just everybody that's just tried us, you know. And we have some people that are regulars, you know, and even after they put their pre-order in, they still buy more on the spot, you know.
Wow.
So we have some people that are like that, and it's like, it's humbling, and it's a great experience. And just thank you for the support, you know. Thank you for the support, and thank you for continuing to show us, you know, that there is a spot for us in this world, you know, that there is a place that it's meant for us to be here.
Absolutely, Maria and Robert. Once again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. There you have Mr. and Mrs. Chimi, Robert and Maria Gaitan out of San Fernando Valley. Go check them out. Go give them a follow. Go order some desserts. Hit them up on the DM. There's the hat. There's the logo. There's the changa. You can't miss it. The red and white. Unbelievable. You will not be disappointed. I have first hand knowledge, and I had the pleasure of tasting several of their menu items. So, guys, once again, thank you so much. Let's continue to build community and help support each other, and we will see you guys soon.
Yes,
right,
thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
There you have it. Once again, go check out Mrs. Chimi Dessert Shop, ladies and gentlemen. For myself, DoubleAA, I want to thank everybody for being here, tuning in on this episode of Profile Pod TV. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button there at the bottom right-hand corner. Leave me a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow me on Instagram. All that good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back very soon. This week, we'll have more in store, more amazing guests like tonight, Maria and Robert. So thank you once again for them. I am DoubleAA, and always remember to take it easy.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.